I linger by the doorway, a drink in hand, casting one final glance across the crowded room before slipping out. Dana had begged me to come tonight. Her boss's party, some grand networking opportunity she said would help her career. She wanted me to smile, shake a few hands, play the charming husband. I had done that. I'd made small talk with people I'd never see again, laughed politely at jokes that weren't funny, and pretended to belong in a world that always felt just out of reach. But I was done. The noise, the phoniness, the curated elegance, it all felt so hollow. I needed out. I reached into my pocket for my keys and phone, already planning to wait in the car and text Dana to enjoy the rest of her evening. She was somewhere deeper in the house, probably still dazzling her colleagues and charming her boss. I didn't want to pull her away. I just wanted to breathe. The hallway was quieter than the rest of the mansion, muted, dim, a forgotten artery between all the forced smiles and clinking glasses. As I rounded the corner toward the front door, I slowed near the guest bathroom. The door was slightly ajar. That's when I heard them. Two voices, hushed but tense. One of them was Dana's. My pulse stilled. "He can't know." "Not yet," Dana said. Her voice wasn't just whispering. It was pleading. Then came a man's reply, low and impatient. "You've been saying that for weeks. He's not an idiot. He's going to figure it out." There was a pause, then Dana again, softer this time. "I know. Just not tonight. Let me handle it." Something in me turned cold. I stood frozen in place, my heart caught mid-beat. Every muscle in my body tensed, caught between storming in and running away. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just listened, as everything I believed about my marriage began to quietly unravel. The man stepped out first. I recognized him instantly. David, her boss. He walked out like nothing had happened, smooth and self-assured, fixing his cufflinks as he strode away. Dana followed a few seconds later, checking the hallway like a thief leaving the scene. She didn't see me. I'd already retreated into the shadows by the coat closet, my breath held, my mind spinning. Only when she disappeared into the living room did I finally exhale. I slipped out the front door, the noise from inside muffled by the thick wood as it clicked shut behind me. I stood on the porch a moment, trying to steady my hands. Was it an affair? Some secret deal? Something darker? My thoughts churned violently, the air too thick to breathe. I sat in the car, unmoving, watching party guests drift in and out. My stomach knotted with something worse than jealousy, doubt, a hollow, gnawing uncertainty. I wasn't ready to confront her. Not yet. I needed to be sure. An hour later, Dana emerged, radiant and laughing, arm in arm with another couple. She spotted me and walked briskly to the car, cheeks flushed. "There you are," she said brightly, slipping into the passenger seat. "I thought you'd left already." "Just needed some air," I replied, the lie tasting bitter. She didn't catch the edge in my voice. Or she pretended not to. On the drive home, she chatted about how great the evening had gone, how pleased David was with her presentation. I nodded, silent, my grip on the wheel tighter than it should have been. I stared ahead while she recounted every conversation, every compliment. She didn't see the way my jaw clenched. She didn't notice how I kept my eyes on the road and not on her. That night, I lay beside her, eyes wide open, listening to her breath slow into sleep. I stared at the ceiling, replaying the conversation I had overheard, wondering how many more secrets were hidden in whispered tones and unfinished sentences. The woman sleeping next to me suddenly felt like a stranger. The days that followed, I played the part of the devoted husband. I smiled, kissed her goodbye in the mornings, cooked dinner, asked how her day had been. But I was watching now, studying. Every time her phone buzzed and she swiped it away too quickly, every message she typed and erased, every call she rejected, I noticed. I memorized it all. Eventually, I started following her. Not obsessively, just enough. I learned her rhythms. Most days, she went straight home from work. But twice she veered. Once a downtown hotel bar where she met David. I watched from across the street as they sat close, heads tilted, hands almost touching. Another time, it was a quiet park where they spoke under the shade of a large oak tree, like teenagers wrapped in secrets. I took photos. I documented everything. I wasn't interested in paranoia. I wanted facts. Proof. Something I could place on the table and say, "Here, this is what you've done." One evening, she came home late. Her excuse was traffic. I nodded, letting her lies settle. "Long meeting with David again?" I asked casually. She paused for a split second too long. "Yeah, it ran over." I smiled faintly. "He seems to keep you very busy." Her lips parted like she wanted to explain more, but she didn't. Just nodded. "Yeah, he does." I kissed her forehead and turned away. But that night, I made up my mind. A week later, I waited until after dinner. She was rinsing plates when I laid the photos on the dining table. Quietly. No yelling. No drama. "Tell me what this is," I said, my voice low and calm. She froze. Her body tense before she even turned. She stared at the pictures. Her and David, sitting too close, smiling too intimately. "Where did you get these?" she asked, eyes wide. "That's not the question, Dana. What's going on?" She sat down, her hands trembling slightly. "It's not what it looks like." I leaned forward. "Then explain it." She looked down, her voice barely audible. "It started months ago. I didn't mean for it to happen. It was just one night, at first, but then it got complicated." "So, it is an affair," I said, more statement than question. Tears spilled over her lashes. "Yes, but it's over. It ended weeks ago." I stared at her, unmoved. "Doesn't look over in those pictures." She crumbled then. Truly, not the performative tears people give when they're caught, but something more raw. "I was scared," she sobbed. "I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I'd lose you." "You already did," I said flatly. "You just didn't know it." She reached out, but I stepped away. I packed a bag that night, said nothing more, and left. I drove without a destination, just distance. Distance from betrayal, from doubt, from the version of myself that had trusted her too blindly. Days passed, then weeks. She called, messaged, sent long emails and short apologies. I ignored most of them. I wasn't looking for revenge. I wasn't even sure I wanted closure. I just wanted peace. Eventually, I met with a lawyer. Clean cut. No drama. No war. Just out. She sent one final message. "I made the biggest mistake of my life. I miss you every day." I stared at it for a long time, then deleted it without replying. Sometimes the truth doesn't explode. It whispers behind a door that's left slightly ajar. And once you hear it, really hear it, you can't unhear it. You can't go back. You just walk away.